start. Pole position for the reigning champion, the fastest man in qualifying, Ian Flux. And his former third mate, Bobby Burden-Rose, sits alongside number 27, second on the grid. Jamie Campbell-Walter, third fastest. Colin Blower alongside him in car number 5. And behind them, Steve Guglielmi and Gavin Cooper, the top 6, getting a bye from the qualifying race. Behind them, Martin Short and Martin Stewart line up on the next row of the grid. The rest of them starting as they finished the qualification race earlier during the course of the event. So again, fine weather greets the starters. Here's Martin Short, one victory already during the course of the day, and he'll be looking to improve on his 7th place start. Early on, away he goes, passes Gavin Cooper on the outside, passes Steve Guglielmi, passes Ian Flux. The pole position man had a very poor getaway. Troy Dunlop with this very high mounted camera giving you a much better view than he's got. His view is just full of bits of bodywork in the back of people's heads. Down the avenue, through Cascades they stream, and around the long way around the outside, number 40, the pink, white and green car of Martin Stewart, tussling for position, not quite as wide around the outside as 34 Matt Doman went though. Jamie Campbell-Walter, number 28. Third place for Jamie, Bobby Burden-Rose second ahead of him. Colin Blower leads this. Fourth place, the second black car of Steve Guglielmi, then Martin Short and the slow starting Ian Flux. And Flux looking to make a way back as we get the battle of the hyphens. BVR versus JCW. Campbell-Walter versus Burden-Rowe. Well, Burden-Rowe chasing Colin Blower at the moment and looking to try and close down Blower before he gets away. Burden-Rowe lining up for a big lunge down the hill as they go down Cascades, and Martin Stewart loses it. Oh dear, big impact as he just gets 2 sideways under power. And Burden-Rowe's lunge has worked. Colin Blower down to second. Bobby leads. Jamie Campbell-Walter's third. And he's just holding off Steve Guglielmi in the car with the yellow rump there, the black car with the yellow rump. Well, Martin Stewart, big impact with these very resilient TBR chassis. Protect the drivers superbly from that sort of incident. So, Bobby Burden-Rowe leads, and under pressure now for second place from Jamie Campbell-Walter is Colin Blower. Campbell-Walter goes through on the inside. Nicely taken. So again, the battle of the hyphens. Let's just have a look back and see where the pressure's coming from. There's Blower. And behind, Ian Flux on the move, goes past Martin Short under braking. So we swoop down Cascades. Blower with Steve Guglielmi behind him. And Jamie Campbell-Walter, as we see a puff of smoke. Bobby Burden-Rowe trail breaking into the corner. Campbell-Walter intent on chasing him down. Flux with Martin Short behind now. And Steve Guglielmi in his sides. Riding with Short. Let's see how this develops. Hard on the power still. Now hard onto the brakes, and Flux harder and later. Guglielmi gives it up. No chance at all of fighting back from that position. He'll have to regroup himself and have a look later on round the circuit, but I think Flux will be gone by then. And very, very sideways indeed, a big problem. Oh my goodness, how did Gavin Cooper hold that one together? Well, the answer is he didn't, and he's in big trouble. You do not want to get on the grass at Dearly. Ian Flux coming inside Colin Blower, so this view backwards from Jamie Campbell-Walter is full of activity. Flux now up to third place. Well, Gavin Cooper, if he started this race with 9 lives, certainly has only got 7 left. How Martin Short didn't collect him or get hit by him, the Lord only knows. I should think he should be severely chastened by that escapade, and will probably need a change of driving suit fairly soon as well. Martin Short goes through. Gavin Cooper, well, heart rate still in the 300s, I think, probably. Ian Flux, it seems to be as well. He really is pushing very hard indeed. Kicking up the cement dust there. Somebody in an earlier race leaving some oil. Burden-Rowe again, locking a brake. Oh dear, oh dear. Just gets away with it, though. Phil Hindley closing on Ian McKellar. Oh, very, very late. Just holds on to that one. Big slide as the tail gets all floaty over the dip. Well, onto the tail of Steve Cole he goes. Meanwhile, here comes Matt Doman, and losing it in a big way in front of him is Andy Currell. Oh dear, mass avoidance. That's the view from our cameraman Matthew Were. Currell gets going again. Well, let's have a look back now at the beginning of lap 2 from Phil Hindley's viewpoint. Martin Stewart right ahead of us. Stewart accelerates, and the tail just steps out of line, and away he goes. Away too goes Bobby Burden-Rowe. Jamie Campbell-Walter follows him, and Ian Flux in close attendance. Now the reigning champion wants to do something about working his way up the order here. You can see Jamie's helmet bobbling away in the airstream as Flux comes past very cleanly under braking. There was no fight back at all from Campbell-Walter. And that's why Jamie Campbell-Walter has got a massive, massive problem. Huge amounts of smoke suddenly pouring out of the side exhaust there. And that is not a V8 any longer. So Campbell-Walter will undoubtedly be very disappointed to lose out to Ian Flux and to Bobby Burden-Rowe. Very competitive guy in this championship since he came in towards the end of last season. And that is undoubtedly a big disappointment for him. So then, the battle of the former teammates. Bobby Burden-Rowe leads Ian Flux. And Martin Short leads Steve Guglielmi. He's past the black car now. So Burden-Rowe, and you can see just how hard Ian Flux is trying, using the grass on the inside to ditch up his way around the corner as well at that sort of speed. Phil Hindley chasing very hard right on the tail of Steve Cole. Third place still Colin Blower. And then Short, Guglielmi, and Cole under pressure. Phil Hindley does like that overtaking manoeuvre and uses it again to very good effect. Forcing Cole onto the dirt, not necessarily part of the plan, but I'm sure he wouldn't have objected anyway. Burden-Rowe down another gear, now onto the power, and he is starting to slide a little. Ian Flux tending to be a tad tidier through there. That may be telling a story or two about relative tyre wear performance. Again, Flux using more of the road, right up on the apex curb there. And Flux is definitely closing on Burden-Rowe, and I'm sure that Bobby can see that very definitely in his mirrors. He won't need to look at the pit board. Blower third, Short fourth, Guglielmi fifth, Phil Hindley now up into sixth. Then Steve Cole under pressure. The two yellow perils behind him, Ian McKellar and then Giles Cooper, and Cooper has got Cooper behind him because Giles has been chased by Gavin in the number 9 machine. Flux now right with Burden-Rowe, couldn't be closer. Again, Flux's exit looks a little tidier, gets a better launch out of the corner. Burden-Rowe seems to open up a car length or so through Knickerbrook and up the hill. Flux avoiding the curbs this time. Now, is he lining up for something here? Don't think he's quite close enough this lap. So Burden-Rowe's doing his work very well indeed. Has yet to sit in the middle of the road and take a defensive line. 96, Ian McKellar runs out of road. Will he get back? Will he get back? Yes, he does, just about. Running out of road at Druids, not my idea of fun, that's for sure. It's a very quick corner. Giles Cooper, Gavin Cooper, and McKellar again. He must have a braking problem. In the car, if not in his head, and into the gravel goes Ian McKellar. Well, he got that wrong a long way out. Maybe that's not entirely a driver error. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Ian Flux will not be giving Bobby Burden-Rowe the benefit of anything, except for the very close presence of his own car on Bobby's bumper. So the Cooper battle, oh dear. Giles Cooper escaping there as Gavin Cooper seemingly suddenly thought about having a late braking moment down at the bottom of the hill. Well, didn't seem to be happening, and then all of a sudden it was very much happening. Breathing space now for number 14, Giles Cooper, number 9, Gavin Cooper. 3 or 4 car lengths behind. Just following them, Tim Hood, 26. And Hood with Rod Gretton close, but not a threat at the moment. Martin Crass, number 21 behind them. Then Neil Anderson and Troy Dunlop, Steve Hyde, Simon Flood and Matt Doman. There's the number 4 machine of Troy Dunlop. And a look again at this very spectacular disappearance from the race of Ian McKellar. Very, very crossed up under braking, all locked up, and just too much for the driver to deal with. Back then to the battle for the lead, and this time Flux almost gets his nose inside. Bobby Verdenroe has the better line going in and the better exit coming out. Flux kicking up the dust as he gets a couple of wheels on the dirt. Just hold on to it. Again, riding the curbs. Into Druids they go. Not surprisingly, Ian Flux has set the fastest lap of the race, 1 minute 0.41 seconds, averaging 98.9 miles an hour here, 159 kilometres an hour around this circuit. Verdenroe still leads, Flux very close indeed, kicking up the dirt, but he's dropping right back. For some reason, Ian Flux there in the elite has lost a good 50 or 60 metres on Bobby Verdenroe. Well, he still seems to be moving at reasonable speed, but he's certainly dropping away from the leader. Well, now he seems to be still attacking very hard. And there was a definite loss of momentum there towards the end of the last lap. Bobby Verdenroe comfortable now in the lead. Steve Hyde, Simon Flood, Matt Doman swapping places all over. Steve Hyde back ahead of Matt Doman again. Simon Flood passing him as well. These three are having a real old seesaw battle between themselves. Well, here's Bobby Verdenroe. Where's Ian Flux? He's still that same distance behind. So the number one machine is still working, and still working at speed, but no question about it, Flux lost a big handful of time and a lot of track distance on that last lap. Third, Colin Blower. Fourth, Martin Short. Fifth, everybody. Phil Hindley. And with his arm out of the cockpit, pulling off alongside the similar black car of Jamie Campbell-Walters, Steve Guglielmi. Well, no wonder Phil Hindley was alongside him as they came across the start-finish line there, because Guglielmi has pulled off with an as-yet-to-be specified problem. Now, what is happening? Are these cars all going to start retiring? Martin Short chasing Colin Blower. Short is fourth, Blower is third. Short, of course, with the qualification race victory under his belt, would like to work his way a little higher up the order if he could. Steve Cole. Now the Giles Cooper, Gavin Cooper battle has swapped around. Giles Cooper behind Gavin Cooper in the Barclays car, looking all the way around the back of Steve Cole. And these three old sparring partners, they've been at this TDR game a long while. Rod Breton having a fairly quiet time on his own at the moment, trying to find a bit of speed somewhere to get himself involved in a battle. Bobby Verdenroe similarly trying to find a little bit of extra speed to avoid being involved in a battle with Ian Flux, although Flux doesn't seem to be able to get on terms. But the main interest in this race, the battle for sixth place. Cole, Cooper and Cooper. Makes it easy that they've got the same name. There's only one of Cole, and he at the moment holds sixth. Well, the other Barclays car is in a battle as well. We're riding with Matthew Wurr, the bumper cam here showing us a very good shot indeed of Steve Hyde's car. So Matthew Wurr goes through into Knickerbrook, just gives a little wave of thanks. Verdenroe leads. Whatever problem Ian Flux may have had seems to have not reappeared. He is closing once more on Bobby Verdenroe. Well, as the leaders go on to their last lap, here comes the Cooper and Cole battle. Cole still leads it. Gavin Cooper behind him in seventh place and looking for sixth. No, not that time. Giles Cooper kicking up more dirt than his namesake just ahead of him. Down Cascades. And just a tiny smidgen of a touch there from Gavin Cooper. That's how close they are. Steve Cole, Gavin Cooper, Giles Cooper, 6th, 7th and 8th. This really is the battle around the racetrack at the moment. Here come the leaders. Bobby Verdenroe, just 2 corners now from the checkered flag, and plenty of margin. No back markers in the way, no Ian Flux hugging his back bumper. So victory will go to Bobby Verdenroe, but where will 6th place end up? Can this be a side-by-side battle on the brakes? No, Cole defends well in the middle of the road. Gavin Cooper, 7th place behind him, Giles Cooper in 8th. Will he try and make it a drag race to the line? I don't think he's going to be close enough. He's having a look. No. I think that Giles Cooper probably did not manage to get the spot there from Gavin Cooper. But no doubting the winner. Bobby Verden-Rowe wins it from Ian Flux. Flux there on the left-hand side, Colin Blair on the right, and Verden-Rowe spraying the champagne around as winners tend to. So he takes the win, and Flux nicks his booze.
A bit overdue, the win, but it's nice to do it in TVR home territory, and obviously there are a lot of people from Blackpool here, from the factory, and it's a nice place to have finally won my first Tuscan race.
TVR have been on at me a lot over the last 3 weeks about keeping the championship really tight, and as long as it's a different winner each time, we don't mind. With Bobby winning today, who unfortunately had a few mishaps earlier in the year, he's 8th in the championship. Luckily, we got fastest lap, so he actually only pulled 3 points back on me, and Bob's such a nice bloke, I don't mind doing that.
He smiles so sincerely when he says that, doesn't he? Flux still leads the championship then from Martin Short and Jamie Campbell-Walter. 6th of the Pirelli Porsche Cup at Alton Park, this fast-flowing parkland circuit, an ideal place to see these cars in action. It's where they started their season, and for the first time all year, the man who was quickest in practice has actually managed to draw pole position out of the lucky dip hat from the top 6 qualifiers. Johnny Molan will start on pole. Car number 97, the familiar leading car, the AFN machine. Godfrey Jones on the second row of the grid. Jones also in a 993, the latest version of the venerable Porsche 911. Des Winks in the middle of the Category B cars. But Molam out front. He's led almost every lap so far of the championship, despite having started further back down the grid. Dave Bennett and Richard True there, not quite so adept at handling the rear-engined 911's potential for oversteer in the corners. But soon back onto the track anyway. The number 1 machine there, Robert Babican, is 911 Carrera 2. Just in the top 6. But Johnny Molam already halfway around the lap and half a dozen car lengths away. Mark Sumter, car number 5, picks up a place into the Knickerbrook chicane. Very nicely judged on the braking. Will ride with Des Winks right down the inside line, thump the curbs, very high curbs indeed at Knickerbrook. You have to be a little bit careful about how hard you ride them, but Winks picks up a place in approved style there. So Molam leads, Mark Hales and Godfrey Jones 2nd and 3rd. Mark Sumter goes through in 4th. The Class 2 battle heading 3 abreast down towards Deer Leap at the end of the first lap. Richard Finney in his 944, the red machine there, leading the Class 2 cars. Des Winks on the move again. And again using the inside line and acknowledging the space that was left. Godfrey Jones, number 22. You can hear the flat 6 behind him, building up to speed as they come out of Ireland. And there is Mike Pickup's Boxster. This series, the first in the world to have a competition version of Porsche's new baby sports car. Mark Hales, himself a long-time saloon and sports car man, holding 2nd place in his 911. 3rd still Godfrey Jones in the yellow 993. But as we ride with Jones, chasing Hales, there's nothing these two can do about Johnny Molam. Molam out on his own from the moment that the red lights went to green. And he doesn't have the worries that Mark Hales and Godfrey Jones have, i.e. other cars trying to overtake you. So Johnny Molam concentrating on perfecting his racing line, using every inch of the track. And you can see in the rear view mirror, great shot there in car, the rear view mirror showing Mark Hales monstering around the back of Godfrey Jones under braking at the end of the straight. And Hales back in front. So Hales, Jones and Sumter now right onto their tail in 5th position. 7th for Richard Finney. Excellent drive from him. Oh dear, just held on to that one. Only just held on to that one. Number 3, David Saunders. Lost a lot of momentum there. You can see cars breezing past him. And here is the view from, well, a very unnatural driver's view of Mike Pickup's machine. 37, Andrew Dixon. 68, Diane Osborne. Off on the grass. No damage done to either of them, though. Finney angling, I think, now for a place inside the top 6. Superb balance on the 944, making it an ideal car for this fast and demanding circuit. Adrian Slater just at the tail of this group in 9th position. And well, Finney had a look there at Robert Babbicon. Didn't quite work. Des Winks picking up speed now, chasing Mike Pickup. And the light, nimble Boxster, maybe not with the ultimate power, but certainly great handling, and that's a real priority here at Alton Park. Des Winks uses full throttle to blast past on the straight, though. So Hales second, Jones third, Sumpter fourth, and now Richard Finney is up into 5th position, so that happened out of our sight. The 944 man really on the move, but headlamps ablaze, untouched by any opposition from the start. Johnny Molam heads to the flag, and another victory. Will Hales hold on? Jones doesn't seem to be close enough, so they'll be 2nd and 3rd. 4th Sumpter, 5th Finney, and in 6th place the reigning champion Robert Babbicon in car number 1. So as Molam reels off the laps, still Mark Hales under pressure, and Richard Finney is the man really trying to make his way up the order at the moment. Clearly 5th position not enough for him. Des Winks, having passed the box the last lap, now against more equal opposition, similar car, and he goes past the number 33 944 of Jason Saunders. And again, that high up view, you'd need to be standing up in the Boxster to actually get that view yourself, which I wouldn't recommend, I have to say. Class 2 positions being swapped all over the place. And here comes Richard Finney. Finney on the move, goes to the outside, sells some to the dummy superbly. Down the inside he goes. Will he hold on to it? Yes, he's got a nice line into Dearly and holds on to 4th place on the straight. Excellent move. So I don't know if Sumpter thought that was remotely on, but Finney certainly did. Finney up to 4th now. Then Sumpter, and then Babbicon. Behind them, Chris Healy, car number 2, the red and white 944, hanging around at the back of this group. Maybe he's saving it all up for a last gasp effort. Hales on the brakes, turns in. Ooh. Godfrey Jones gets close under braking, but not close enough to make a move here, and Hales just stretching out that gap a little bit. Oh dear, again Jones very fast in under braking on into the chicane, almost onto the back of Hales, but loses speed on the exit. Hales much tidier on the way in and gets the power down earlier, and as a result, at the end of the straight he's further away again, hard on the brakes. Oh, he's trying to make it all up under braking. Very, very untidy from Godfrey Jones. Now Richard Finney right on the tail of Godfrey Jones. We ride with Jones. Let's look in his rearview mirror. Can't see anything at the moment. This is not a place to pass for Finney, surely. Jones goes for an early apex, gets it wrong, just holds the slide. He's really defending hard now. His thoughts are not with Mark Hales at all, but with Richard Finney, and Finney is alongside. Yes, that broadside moment from Godfrey Jones, and another one, really cooked his goose. Lost all sorts of momentum. Now he's struggling for gears. Getting very flustered inside his helmet, I'm sure. Hales comes through with a margin from now. Third place, Richard Finney. Fourth, Godfrey Jones. Fifth, Mark Sumter. Ooh, with Robert Babbicon right with him. Babbicon sixth, kicking up the dirt. Chris Healy seventh, holding on, waiting for all these 911s to get too far sideways and come back at him. Godfrey Jones now fourth position, running out of road. Well, I wonder if he's running out of tyres. The car very wayward here. Class 3 battle coming towards us. At the back of that, number 66, Tom Segru, the fastest man in qualifying in his 944 in his class. Hanging on to the back of the cars, trying to find a place. Adrian Greaves, the red and white car, 52, and then Adrian Bolton, 53, the white and blue striped car just ahead of Segru. Oh dear, oh dear. Jason Saunders getting it completely wrong under braking at Knickerbrook. We thought Godfrey Jones was getting wayward. Oh dear, and somebody else happened to cut across the grass. Dave Bennett there, 34 in avoidance. Don't think that will help his progress much. Picked up a cone for his efforts as well. So, reigning champion Robert Babbicon trying to monster his way past Mark Sumter in number 5. Didn't work that time. Little tight to get two 911s side by side through there. Johnny Molam continues serenely on his way, finishing the crossword as he does so, undoubtedly. Checkered flag awaits, and yet another victory for Johnny Molam, and there can have been few more comfortable than that. Thoroughly enjoyable drive in the country for him. Gets the 993 broadside just at the end. Second then for Mark Hales, third for Richard Finney. Des Winks won Class 2, Adrian Bolton won Class 3. Well, Johnny Molam just running away with Class 1. He should be in Class 1A on his own. Jason Saunders leading Class 2. Tom Segru still holding on in Class 3.